Crystal, Elon, Jenny. Everyone's coming in faster than I can say hello. Hi, everybody. We are live, and I am not Armando. So I just wanted to say welcome. I got a text earlier today from Armando saying he woke up feeling really bad and he thought he was going to feel better, but he doesn't. And I was debating on what to do tonight, and I said, you know what? I'm still going to run it. So I'm going to coach my face off tonight. So anyone who has any questions, if they need help with potty training, need help with communication, I want you to raise your hand. I'm going to be coaching my face off tonight. And I'm going to show you a little bit about us. I'm going to show you a little something I had pre-recorded with Armando back when I first met him that didn't leave a dry eye in the house. And what we'll do is we'll have him come back next month to do the presentation that we meant to do tonight. But I thought, you know what, let's not throw this whole night away. Let's work together. Let me coach. Let me help some families that might need support. If you want coaching tonight, I want you to raise your hand, little yellow hand that's on the bottom. And yeah, let's get to it. So welcome, everybody. My name is Michelle. If you don't know me, I am an autism mom and a life coach. I run a program called Champions for Our Children. It is a masterclass where it's a group coaching program where I coach parents of children with autism. Tonight was supposed to be Armando's night to share his story. I always, the last time we worked together, it was like the tale of two autism stories, meaning that Juliana's story, which is my daughter, her story from when she was diagnosed to where she is today. She went from nonverbal to sign language to speaking. I'm going to show you that exact journey in a second. She went from the most restrictive special education ABA class from a 614 to where she is today. This year is her first year in a full-on general education class, fourth grade, neurotypical peers. She is thriving, doing amazing. And I didn't know that was possible for her. And I'm going to go over exactly how we got there, how we were able to do that for her. And then Armando is kind of like takes the baton from that part, like where he is what we call the trifecta in our program, because he's also one of the BCBA coaches in our program. He is male, he is a BCBA, and he is an adult with autism who had severe autism symptoms when he was diagnosed at 2. His mother was told he would never speak. And we're going to hear from him tonight in this recorded interview I did with him about a year ago. So let's just hop right back in. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the Q&A. I know we're already getting questions about the masterclass. I'll talk to you guys more about that later in the presentation. But let's get cracking so I can get coaching. And let's have a fun night. I want to have fun with you guys. I'm in my Wonder Woman t-shirt. I totally wasn't even prepared for this. I was like, you know, let's just do it. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to slide my presentation, make it happen here. And Jen is with us tonight. And if you stay till Q&A, we're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away 2 private sessions, one with myself, one with Armando. You got to stay till Q&A to get it. We're going to do Wheel of Names. And we're going to give everybody who comes tonight, who shows up tonight, we're going to give you one of my guides for free. I think it's going to be the survival guide for problem behavior. So, okay, let's get cracking. Jen, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So here we go. And meet the team. Tonight it is just me because Armando is sick. Hi, everybody. So here's Juliana's story. I couldn't think of a better way to describe it than letting this beautiful video show you. I remember when I got pregnant with my daughter, I felt so grateful and so blessed. I mean, my life up until that point had been pretty rocky. I'd had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and I finally thought that I was turning a corner and God was blessing me with this beautiful gift of a child. And I just, yes, you know, finally something is going my way. And then when she was born, she was just absolutely perfect. I had all of these yeah, good girl. Right after her first birthday, I started to notice her behavior changes. She went from, saying that. She was obsessed with Dora the Explorer, Mama, Dada. She was saying it all. Good girl, saying that. Hit all of her milestones up until that point. She walked at 1. She was eating solid. She just, she looked really good. And then I just remember her, it felt almost overnight or very quickly where her demeanor just changed. She went from this super happy baby to crying and tantruming, just frustrated all the time. And I remember saying to my mom one day during one of these scans, she was like, where did my happy baby go? But I didn't think anything past it. I think I was kind of not ready to fathom that something could be off, even though maybe the telltale signs were there.
Honey, gotta get dressed. Gotta get dressed, honey. Time to get dressed.
She started to lose the words that she had gained. She wasn't saying mama anymore. She wasn't saying that. She just seemed really disconnected from us. Instead of playing with her toys, she would take them, dump them all out of her toy box, and just start twisting them around her hands aimlessly with no intended purpose. Really kind of in denial about it. And then I remember one day we were in the middle of the store, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, she just like started like screaming and yelling like somebody had slapped her. I don't even know what the problem was, and I was so mortified. I didn't even know what to do. I was so scared. I literally just left the half full cart in the store, picked her up, and just ran out of there. Never went to that store again. I just didn't even know what to think. And that was probably the first time it really kind of stung for me that maybe something is wrong. They diagnosed her. They didn't diagnose her right away. They said that she was too young for a diagnosis. I didn't even know what they meant when they said that. I was like, diagnosed with what? I just had no idea what they were talking about. And then they said, we'll come back in if you're not seeing progress. And so, okay, and a couple months later, I'm watching these speech therapists play with her on the floor. I'm not seeing any progress and felt like she was getting a little worse. And then we went for our 2-year-old wellness visit. And the doctor said that she was behind if she wasn't using 20 words with intent. And that was probably just to knife my heart at that point. I really couldn't deny that something was up with her anymore. So then I called the county back in, and she was diagnosed on the spectrum. And I remember that day, and it was worst days of my life. It was my darkest hour. I could easily say that as a mother, as a woman, as just a human being, it was probably one of the hardest times I had ever gone through. And I remember just being I went from being so happy with God, so thankful, to being so pleased at doing this to her and wrecking this beautiful gift He had given me. And for a while there, I struggled. I struggled to figure out what this meant, or what we were going to do, or how this was going to define her. All those dreams I had for her future were just completely shattered. And I had no idea what was going to happen next. And I went from just hopeful to just complete blank when I thought about the future. One night I was thinking, I'm going to die one day, and who's going to care for her like I love her? And something about that thought just snapped me out of my depression and my anger and my fear and said, listen, we got to get to work here. I promised that when she was born, I was going to be the best mother I could be to her. And that promise hasn't changed. In fact, she needs me more now than ever, not less. She needs me now more than ever. And I didn't know at the time what we were capable of, or what having those changes, that mindset shift for me was going to do. But I wanted to know that at the end of every night, I could look myself in the mirror with confidence and say, did you do everything you could, Michelle, to give her the best possible life? And if the answer was yes, then that was a good day. And I wanted the answer to be yes, 100%. And no matter where the cards fell, I know I could leave this earth saying I gave her everything I had, no regrets. And as I've navigated this world with her and walked away that day after having that thought, I really just grabbed the bull by the horns. I became her fiercest advocate. I'm not a special education master's degree teacher. I don't know I never had any formal training in ABA, but I knew that I was going to learn whatever I needed to learn to be really strong for her. And Juliana lost all of her language.
Cheerios? More Cheerios? More Cheerios. Okay.
She was nonverbal when she was diagnosed.
Okay.
We taught her sign language.
Show me. Juliana, show me. Good girl.
Then she went from sign language to word approximations. Then she started to speak. Say, I did it. She went from the most restricted preschool environment. She was in 614, most restricted preschool, special education preschool environment. Your name is good morning to you. Your name is and how do you do? To now where she is almost 8 years old. She's in a second grade class in a gen ed school, integrated class with typical peers. She speaks beautifully now. What did you like about the troll experience?
I like when they make me like coffee. And I like the thing that when they touch the paper.
She has a personality. She has conversation skills. There's still things that we need to work on, but for the most part, her future went from black to now having possibilities. And none of that could have happened had I not kind of gotten out of my own way and really hit the ground running and started to take action for her. And I can't say that I could do that for every parent I coach, but what I can tell them is I will have them feeling like I did, looking myself in the mirror, you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I was everything I could be for her today. I have no regrets. And whatever happens, it's really for us as parents to know we fulfilled the duty that we promised when we had these children, which was to be the best versions of ourselves, to live, to raise these children. I've helped now hundreds of mothers, coach them one-on-one to do the same things I did, to help them to be strong, to help them to craft plans where we're seeing constant progress. This is what I want to do. I want to give you the chance that Juliana's had. I want to give you every opportunity to give your child that happiness.
Dear Juliana, today you will live a day full of happiness. Spend with friends. Many good memories to remember again. And great times. I hope you will never end. Happy birthday, love, Jane.
So I'm so sorry that some of you had a hard time hearing that. I put in the link. I'm manning this by myself and with Jen by my side. So in the chat box, I put a link to where you can watch that if you had a hard time hearing it, but it was just like our story, and it's always, it gives me the warm and fuzzies, and it just blows my mind even to this day of like, wow, you know, she's come so far, and I didn't even know this was possible. And honestly, what really like turned the corner for us was me just kind of getting out of my own sorrow about this and saying, listen, I know I didn't sign up for autism. We didn't have this in our family. There was no sign this was coming. She was talking, we saw that, then she stopped. And I said, you know what, you know, it isn't fair and it isn't right. And I don't understand why this was for us, but it's what it is. And once I got to that, and it's not a sexy place, you know, like I call it like the acceptance of our scenario. Like, it's not right, it's not fair, it's what is. And it's not like sexy, and it's not like this come to Jesus moment. It's kind of like, I have to make the best of what we have. And that's kind of where it really turned the corner for us. Not actually like her changing. She changed because I changed. And that's what I want to share with you guys tonight, and share with Armando's message as well. So, okay, so I am wanting to know why you might be here. And I kind of have some ideas. Maybe you're here because you want your child to start communicating with you. You might be here because you want your child to be as independent as possible. You want your child to have friends and engage with other children. You want communication to click with your child when it comes to speech. You want to stop worrying about what their future will look like if they don't communicate. You want some reassurance for yourself as their parent that you've done everything you could to help them, not just check the box, but really see, feel it in your bones through and through that you gave them everything you got. You want to stop feeling like every bad thing in the world is going to happen to them. You want to stop feeling like you can't live your life. And that's something that I can relate to, that all of the parents in my masterclass can relate to. When the diagnosis came, it's like we lost our identity as individuals, we just became this caregiver. And I want you to get your life back. I want you to see that that's possible. So we're going to share some examples of that tonight. So the autism mommies, big three. This is what I always talk about. And I always say, like, what I was thinking about Juliana, and when we got the diagnosis, I thought Rain Man. I said, okay, fucking, this is crazy. I don't know what's going to happen to her. I'm thinking Rain Man. What are we going to do here? And I said, I got to work on, like, getting her some foundational skills, right? Like, I don't know what her life's going to be like. What are some foundational skills? And these are what I call the big three. And these are the skills that every child with autism needs for a chance at a life of independence. The first one is potty trained. The second one is having no problem behaviors or minimal problem behaviors and can sit and attend so they can learn in a school setting. And the third is communication skills. And what I thought for a long time is I thought I could cure Juliana of autism. So when I got to the acceptance point, I have I call the 5 stages of grief a part of the diagnosis process for any parent. And it's not like somebody died, but what did die was the thought of the neurotypical childhood experience we thought we were going to have with our kid. And you grieve that, because I didn't sign up for this. You didn't sign up for this. And she was my first too. I had no idea what the future was going to hold for us. So I remember going through this process of the grief, and I remember getting to acceptance saying, I got to make the best of what I got. Maybe I can cure her of this. I had this thought that caught fire in my body that I'm going to cure her of this. I'm going to make this possible. That thought, even though inaccurate, had served me well. It probably served me up until kindergarten. And then something happened in kindergarten, which was like me getting hit in the face with a cold fish with a social situation with another peer. And I was like, okay, I don't know if what I was thinking was true. It seems like as she grows older, there's going to be age appropriate situations that are going to pop up, and I'm going to have to deal with it with a little sprinkle of autism. And I was like, okay, it was definitely something I had to catch my breath with, because I was so determined to make this like disappear. Now I had to realize this is going to probably be a part of her identity forever. And what do I want to think about this now? And then I thought, what if you could live an amazing life and still have autism? What if you could have all the things I was still striving for when I was trying to cure her of it, and still have autism and just live a fantastic life? And that for the next couple of years, that's what I was working towards. I said, I'm not sure if this is possible, but I'm going to keep working towards this. And I'm going to work towards this for us. I'm working toward it for the parents I coach. And then I meet Armando. And Armando, I feel so bad you guys didn't get a chance to meet him tonight. We're going to do this again next month, so that when he's sick, anyone who came late, you're looking for Armando. I don't look like Armando, but I want to share the first time I ever interviewed him. I remember I was in the shower. I listened to all types of podcasts in the shower, and he was on somebody else's podcast, and they were interviewing him. And I was shocked. Just as I'm in this thing of like searching out the proof that what I want to believe now, which is, can a child have autism, become an adult with autism, and live an amazing life? And then I met Armando. Armando is going to talk a little bit about his story here, and basically tell you, like, his mother was told in the 90s when he was diagnosed and autism wasn't as prevalent as it is today, that he would never speak, and that she might as well teach him sign language. He was self-harming. He didn't speak till the age of 7. And if you haven't met Armando and you haven't had the pleasure, everyone in my masterclass that's here can give me a little shout out in the chat. They know Armando. They love Armando because he's a part of the masterclass as one of the coaches now, because he's not just a BCBA, like a behaviorist who believes in behavior like I do, and knows that as a language of behavior, we can teach any child anything, because he believes in this so much. He became a BCBA, but he can like tell us what our babies are thinking better than they could even articulate it themselves, even if they're pre-verbal, or even if they're verbal but they can't express themselves. He's just such an asset to our lives, in our community. I'm so honored to have him. So I wanted to share this. This was the first interview I ever did with him. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Some of my master classes that are here tonight were on that, and we were all crying. And I tried to pull the best from that in this little video, and I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to try, before I share it, I'm just going to change. Jen, isn't there a place where I can change the settings so I can make it friendly for sharing video? Hold on one second here. Leave computer audio settings. Hold on. I just want to see if there's a setting that if you're doing video.
This I already changed the settings to like
Oh, you did? Okay. All right. So I am going to share my screen again. I'm going to share this video. If you have any trouble listening to it, we'll have the replay up and we'll make sure that it's loud and clear in your replay, but hopefully you can hear it tonight. Now we'll answer more questions in the chat. Raise your hand if you want to be coached tonight. Okay, so I want to know all about you. So I want you to tell us what you were like, well, how old are you, where you're from, tell us like about you as a baby, like what your parents told you, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I am 28 years old. I am a board certified behavior analyst, but I was also diagnosed at a young age, at the age of 3. It's funny. So one thing my parents always told me was that the doctors at the time of the diagnosis told them that I might as well learn sign language because I'm never going to learn how to speak. And now I host a podcast. So it's very ironic in that situation. And I mean, growing up, things were very difficult behavior wise and social wise. I mean, I still suffer from some things today. It's just in a more positive light, and I have more self-regulation than I did before. I mean, I jokingly say, if you ask me, I was a perfect child. My parents probably don't think so. So with my mother and my family, we grew up very poor. We didn't have a lot of support, or a lot of like ABA therapy was not something we took part in because we could not afford it. And so my mother went to libraries to find new things about autism or different kinds of interventions. At the time, this was in the 90s, it was still, as looking back now on like the history of ABA and all the stuff I know about autism now, it was very difficult to find information back in the 90s, or at least more diagnosis than what is currently present. I mean, if you look today, the CDC says that 1 in 44 kids are diagnosed with autism. That was not the case in the 90s. And there wasn't any Facebook, any kind of social media. And so I grew up very alone. I did not have the social aspects I did now. I didn't know anyone else with autism. It was just me, my diagnosis, my family, and people I met through middle school, elementary, and high school. A lot of it, as I've spoken to you about, was a lot of masking. It was like, okay, let me fit in. It was all about fitting in, right? And not being able to be someone different. Because if you had a diagnosis like me, or if you were different, everyone just looked at that. Okay, that was a way of like really getting at somebody. I was in the life skills class. I was nonverbal for some time. With my family. And I still vaguely remember this as well. I didn't really speak a whole lot. I would say sounds for words. So I would say like bzz, bzz for like a bee or a bug, or I would say choo choo. And this is at 4 or 5 years old. And, typically kids speak at that time. And so that was my form of communication, and through speech therapy, through interventions my family made, and, a couple bumps on the head. As my mom says, during that time, I was able to learn a little bit more. But I really chalk up a lot of who I am today to my family, to the friends that supported me, and my very loving fiance who is still deals with everything I do now. And I have positives. I have cute quirks, as they would say, like hand clapping is cute for her because she's like, oh, that's how I know you got a good Christmas gift, or that's how I know I got you a good gift, things like that. But there's still some things I still struggle with. If things get really difficult, if there's social changes, or if there's changes in my schedule, I try to be as flexible as possible. But sometimes I had self-injurious behavior growing up, and I still do at times. It's still more self-regulated. But if I didn't learn something fast, I would hit myself with a textbook, or I'd hit myself with something just to feel better about things. And that's the part of my autism that I don't speak a lot about, but I wanted to try and be more open and more transparent, that I still have those difficulties, but thankfully, because of the support system I've been given, it's easier to cope with, because I have others to look at for social involvement and social cues.
So looking back at your parents, this is a lot of what my program focuses on, is that how what parents believe about the diagnosis can make or break the outcome that the child could potentially have. I know that's what I felt. I felt a shift in me when my thoughts changed about my daughter's future. So looking back on your parents, we had your mom, who was very gung-ho, ready to do anything she needed to support you, and your dad was kind of like struggling with it. How did they kind of come together to, I guess, bridge the gap, so to speak, to get you what you needed?
I think it was finally just them realizing that, or at least my father really realizing that there's something that wasn't going to be fixed. Why is he not talking? Why is he not, relating to others? Why is he not interacting with kids at that time? And I mean, I guess it would really probably hit him when I got into the life skills program, and it was kind of like he needs some help. And so I remember I would be more in the life skills where I was with these kids, and I have pictures in the yearbook where I was with the it would say life skills, or I would be with other, like my best friend was in a wheelchair and they also had like more severe autism at that time. And so I would be there. And finally my father came around, and it was more of just getting us to relate more. We didn't really get along as well. And looking back, I don't think it was like, oh, we didn't like each other. It was more of just like a misunderstanding of what each other were looking for. And I relate some of it to just a lack of understanding overall. Like my father didn't graduate from high school. I think from what I remember, he dropped out in 7th grade. Wasn't big and educated, very brilliant, very intelligent person, just did not do well in the school system. And so it was just a lack of knowledge that really pushed it. Thankfully, like I said, the support systems do make and break. And I mean, that's something that's really great about your program, is that and the guests that I speak to on my podcast, that it really changes the outcome, depending on if parents are involved, if friends are involved, if you have some kind of person to relate to that can support you. I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't for people pushing me to do what I've done now.
Let's talk about some general, I always say there's 3 foundational skills every child on the spectrum needs to progress. Actually, it's like almost 3.5, but number 1 was potty training.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is have some form of communication. And number 3 is kind of like no problem behavior or minimal problem behavior, and or can sit and attend. When would you say you had gotten those 3 foundational skills?
I would say that I was very fortunate, because that spectrum, right? It's such a wide spectrum. So I'm obviously on the very far end of that. But the communication didn't come until 5 or 6. I wasn't fully at a point where I was very functionally with communication until probably 4th or 5th grade. So that would be like 9 years old, 10 years old.
Wow.
I didn't test out of speech therapy until that time. I mean, I still have some minor issues, but nothing that really like gets in my way of communication. With potty training, like you said, I think that was a bit later as well. Probably around 4 years old, and the typical is like 2. And what I tell my parents now, putting my BCBA hat on, is that the earlier you do it, the better, right? Because at some point a child realizes it's so much more convenient to just go on yourself than having to go to the bathroom. And so that, I mean, that's the same concept with that is thankfully, even though I was able to get out of it. But I mean, some parents aren't that lucky. Some parents are still having to deal with that. I have on my caseload currently, I have a 9-year-old that is still potty trained, or a 10-year-old is still potty trained. You don't imagine like the amount of work that a family puts into it, like when you're growing up, and then you get older and you're like, what were you doing? Why were you doing this? And I'm sure all of the parents on right now, like you can talk about that, and it's just like, you talk about your kids, and you talk about, this didn't work. How do I fix it? Or what do I do next? Okay, this strategy didn't work. What's the next step?
As a mother that pushes her child a lot and really puts a lot of effort in, and for all the moms in here, I am telling them to do the things that I did. I'm trying not to be the emotional host. I can't help to think that I hope that one day she does understand that I was trying to hurt her. I was trying to help her. And this gives all of us moms, because we talk about this a lot, like we talk about using iPads for reinforcements, and a lot of parents are against taking it away because they feel so bad. And there's just something so when you're hearing this as a mother, that you realize what they sacrificed to help you be stronger, Not a dry eye in the house, I'm sure, because we're all in the same boat, thinking the same thing. So I appreciate you sharing that. One of the things I did want to think about here is like, when do you feel like, what do you think the home, the work that the mom and dad and your sister did in home was the major catalyst for all the progress you had? Or do you think it was these schools they were putting you in? What do you think was the made the biggest movement for you progress wise?
His parents. It was my parents.
Everybody.
It was the parents, and it was my parents, because like, sure, the school was helping, but it was also still a public school. I didn't go to a private school. I didn't go to a charter school. Everything that I am, I know it's because of the parents. I mean, it's because of you guys, everyone on this call. Like, your kids will love you forever, and it's everything that you guys are doing for them. Every intervention, everything that you're like, oh, this isn't working, but at least you tried it, and at least you gave it a shot. There's some parents that may not do that, and I mean, just being on this call today, it's such an honor and a blessing to talk to each of you. You're what's making a difference.
Okay. So I just want to say here, you know, if we got anything from watching him tonight, is to understand that everything he had been exposed to, because they didn't have money for ABA back when he was diagnosed, and his autism by the doctors that she went to was pretty much like a hopeless case. His mother was burned and determined to do whatever possible. She would go to the library, he says, but she'd spend all day on a Saturday at the library researching things, trying things. His sister was 11 years older than him. She was like another little mom to him, and they were all trying things with him. His father, who took the longest to come around that maybe something is wrong here. He's never gone into specifics, but I'm sure that some of the things based on what he has shared were questionable, because they didn't know what to do, but they didn't want to believe like this was it. And this was such a moment for me when I went back and even watched this again, because there are things that I have tried. So a mom asked me a couple months ago, is there anything you ever tried with Juliana and failed? I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. There's more shit I've tried with her that hasn't worked, that hasn't. But what's the most important thing for all of us, there's no fail. There's no true fail. There's only learning on this journey and winning. The only fail, the only big F in this process is quitting. And that's what, if you can take away anything from what he shared, and I had no idea he was going to say, I'm thinking in my head, maybe he's going to say when they transitioned him from life school, maybe there's this one special gym teacher. I had no idea what he was going to say, that he came back and he said it, his parents. That's why I coach parents of children with autism. Nobody knows your baby better than you. Nobody spends as much time as you do with your baby. You have the ability to be such a huge impact on changing the trajectory of your child. But one of the things we do talk about in my program, and I'm going to share some information on that tonight because I've been getting some questions about it, is that we work a lot on what's going on here. I used to think back in the day that it was all the things I could do to make her whole, to give her these life skills that she didn't have. 95% of the game was in my head. 5% tactical. And I've got amazing tactical because I've tried a lot of shit and we've helped a lot of kids. And I'm going to go live tonight and coach a bunch of you. Or whether you're dealing with pie chain or communication, I got you. There's not one thing that anyone's ever brought to me that I haven't been able to solve. And that's because I don't stop until I get it. And that was what I was determined to do for Juliana. That's what I'm determined to do for all the parents in my masterclass. And that's what I want to teach you to be for your baby. You will not stop to your dying breath to say, I showed up every single day and I left nothing on the table for my baby. Okay, so let me just get back to presenting. We'll do a little prize and we'll get right into Q&A. Tonight's going to be nice because we're going to do a lot of Q&A tonight, I think. Okay, here we go. Get back into this. All righty. So you already saw Armando. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about before we get into Q&A is what you may want, what you definitely want for your child. And you want to hear your child be able to speak. You want to hear their voice. I've seen that a gazillion times in the chat tonight. You want a child who can use the bathroom and is not in diapers. You want a child that doesn't tantrum or get aggressive with yourself or others. You want to have a deep relationship with your child who can share their thoughts and dreams with you. You want your child to be able to go to school, extracurricular activities, camp without their autism diagnosis making it impossible. You want to drop and go at a birthday party or a sleepover. I remember I was terrified to do this. It was like one of those things. I was like, I just never thought this day would come. And then I'm like terrified to leave her. You want all of us to be able to go on a vacation and have fun as a family. You want to be able to enjoy your holidays, go to parties with families and friends, and without having to hover over, explain away your child's behaviors. You want to know that when you're gone, your child can be independent. That was a big one for me. You want your child to have a strong connection with their siblings and the rest of their family. And then I want you to take a step back and think about what you want for yourself, because we don't think about ourselves. 95% of the game is in my head. What is it I want for myself to be able to do this for my child? You want an unbreakable connection with your child. I got to tell you, autism gave me the gift of like laser connection with her and my son. that I don't think I ever would have had. And I thought I was going to be an awesome mom. But like this just took it to a whole other level in a great way. You want peace with the diagnosis. You don't want to believe that autism is a death sentence. You want to feel it in your bones that you didn't fail your child. You want to know that you left no stone unturned for them. You want to know that your children will remember their childhood and say, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, our caregiver gave me an amazing childhood. You live every day knowing that if you died tomorrow, you gave 110% no regrets. You know that you're raising a happy, healthy, self-regulated child that grows to a happy adult. And I wanted to share this tonight because I just got this 2 days ago, and it really warmed my heart. This is from Teresa. She might even be here tonight. I think she is. She's one of our master classers, and I was so excited when she sent this, and I got her permission to share. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I'm going to just share some highlights that I absolutely loved. That her baby is officially potty trained. We have a 100% success rate for potty training in the master class. You join the master class, you want potty training done, you leave with a potty trained child. You work on that with me, you guaranteed to have a potty trained child. And she wrote me and she said 2 magical things happened. That her boy Ian watches videos of people eating and opening candy on YouTube. So he got a huge 1-pound peanut butter cup for Christmas. And it was the perfect reward for potty training. We're going to talk about rewards tonight with potty training. It's huge. He gets a piece of this big peanut butter cup every time he poops on the potty. Then she doubled down on the system and she created a token board system, which we talk about in the program, and made his reward once he got a certain amount of tokens, a stay at a hotel. They were talking like Ritz-Carlton. I've done this too with my kids. I'll take them to like a Days Inn with an in-ground pool, and they're delighted, right? And she said as long as the hotel had a swimming pool in it, he was down. And she said he literally ran to the bathroom and took a shit in the toilet. It was so like I'm so excited when I get stuff like this. And she said this really rocked me. His teacher is just speechless because she's never seen such a quick turnaround. And I can't tell you how much joy and unspeakable joy I have in my heart right now for all of us. A veil of depression that I didn't even know existed had lifted, and I can see and feel more clearly now. And this program we put in place is so much fun and affordable to any of the treatments I've paid for. And I hope she's here tonight. Thank you, Teresa, for writing that. This is from Kimberly, and I wanted to share these with you because I know everyone thinks they have the unicorn and that these results aren't possible, but they're possible for everybody. Armando and Juliana are not the unicorns. Their moms fucking are, because we were like, no, we're not just going to accept what everyone else is telling us it's going to mean. We're going to define what autism is going to mean in our home. This is from Kimberly. She's one of my first master classers. I'll never forget. She sent this to me a couple months ago. She's like, I just want to drop you a quick email, Michelle. I know you have been busy beyond belief with all of your new training courses, but I wanted to take a minute to tell you thank you. When I first found you, Easton was 3 and I couldn't get him a firm diagnosis nailed down. He had maybe 20 to 30 words, 0 social skills, was not potty trained, didn't know his name, and my biggest wish was just to hear him say, I love you, Mom. We lived in a county with 0 access to ABA, so I just assumed it was out of the question. I figured my only option was to fall in line and take what the school would be able to provide and just hope for the best, even though I knew it would never be enough. I found you the same day I had one of his IFSP follow-ups. I was defeated and overwhelmed after they asked me to list some of Easton's strengths. I sat there almost in tears as I struggled to come up with an answer. I told myself never again would it ever be put in a position like that. I had to find him help, and luckily I found you. Today I had a meeting with the school regarding his kindergarten class. He is set to be placed in a general education class 80% of the time. He is fully potty trained, has no aggressive behaviors, is able to self-regulate, transition smoothly, is learning to advocate for himself more and more each day. Both his fine and gross motor skills are on par with his peers, which is never the case previously. His speech is still blossoming, but he has grown leaps and bounds. He has access to ABA, which has made all the difference. He tells me he loves me on a daily basis. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, had I not found you, we would not be here. I was trying so hard not to boob. I sometimes worry about what could have been had we not. Luckily, that isn't our reality. I don't attend the live meetings any longer, but I listen back to them. I put them on in the car when I walk or while I'm getting ready. I've been able to take something away from each one, and my most recent being the leisure iPad. That's genius. Listening to them keeps me focused and driven. It lifts me up and keeps my momentum going. I know that the work has to be tedious and time consuming, but I want you to know it's so appreciated. It truly made all the difference in my life. And most importantly, Easton's. I'm so thankful for you and your entire team. You have literally turned our life around. And I can't tell you enough what that means to our family. What you do for people is beyond amazing. You are truly our lifesaver. I don't know what, I guess like when I read these things, it's beautiful. And it's like, I lived this too. You're living this now. Kimberly was living this, Therese was living this, and this is what's possible. It just makes me so happy. I don't even know. I'm like happy and emotional. I'm like a big bowl of mess. So I want to talk to you about this masterclass. What she's talking about, those recordings are the call recordings every week. And even though she doesn't come on them anymore, she stayed in the masterclass and she just listens to them because they're so helpful to her, even for how far he has come. And this masterclass that we run, that Armando's a part of, and I'm spearheading, is called the Champions for Our Children Masterclass. It's a 3-month group coaching program with guaranteed results. And I'll talk about my guarantee in a minute because I will not stop. That's how sure I am in what I do. I am about giving you 100% results. You show up, I show up, and we stay together until that baby has what you need. And this is what you get when you join. Lifetime access to our self-study vault. I've created a Champions for Our Children masterclass. We talk a lot about mindset in there. I have courses on training, potty training, eloping. I saw somebody had a child with picky eating, children with problem behaviors. I have all of that covered. I even created a course on social skills. In this program, you get 3 to 4 live group coaching calls a week, and you get lifetime access to those call recordings. So that's what Kimberly was talking about. One call is hosted by me, the jack of all trades, the mother of a child with autism, just like you guys. And I'm going to help you on our first call craft a personalized plan for your baby. We're going to start working on potty training. We'll start working on communication, whichever one you want to work on first. We've got plenty of time to cover it all. The second call each week is with Stella. She's our mindset coach to help keep your mind in place where you stay determined to help your baby. There's blows with this. There's regression. There's taking 3 steps forward and 4 steps back at times. I want to keep your mind right. I was so laser focused. There was anything that came at me, I had like this invisible bubble on me. It just bounced off me. That's how powerful the mind is. I always say, this is my quote, but I love it. It says, the mind is like a furnace. It can warm your house or burn it down. And she's going to keep it so that it's warming your house and not hurting you and not hurting the potential outcome for your child. The third call each week is with Armando and Melissa and Stacy and Julie. These are our BCBAs in the program. And all of them have a warm place in my heart. You already just heard from Armando. Not only do you get his experience as a behaviorist, you're going to get his life, like what it feels like to be a child who couldn't speak, but he knew he couldn't speak, and how frustrating that was. And we're going to be able to identify with him. You're going to get to talk to him on a weekly basis. You've got Melissa and Stacy. Stacy was a part of Juliana's team when her language was emerging. They're going to teach you just like I'm going to teach you. We're going to build each week on the plan we put in place to help your baby get the big 3. And everyone gets their questions answered at these calls. Support is my North Star. If you can't make it, you leave a note for me and I will answer your question. You can listen back on the replay. In addition to my 3 to 4 calls a week we have for you, you have monthly specialist calls. That's with a registered dietitian and a speech language pathologist. Both, by the way, are parents of children with autism. These are I'm really trying to support you, not just from me, but from people who also live this life. And the third part about our community is the private Facebook community. You join the masterclass, you get access to the community. If you have questions in between calls, support is my North Star. You can either email me directly. You're going to have my email. You're going to be able to answer me any questions in between calls, set up a blueprint, go over what we discussed. We're going to tweak and test until we get this done for you. And if you don't want to do that, you can tag a coach in the group. They're happy to answer it. I'm always checking that group out. So why would you want to join this program? Every child on the spectrum is unique, and your program should be flexible and bend enough to meet the uniqueness with personal strategies. Even though this is a group coaching call, I meet every single one of you and I say, let's work where you're at, where your baby's at. And you're going to learn from other people, because somebody's going to be working on communication. Somebody's going to work on potty training. You're going to get ideas. You're going to start thinking about things you never even thought before. You're going to learn that potty training, if you're working on potty training, it's 1000% possible. They do not need to be verbal to potty train. They don't need to have mild autism to be potty trained. This was the sign we potty trained Juliana with. I want you to feel confident as a parent like you were before the diagnosis came, because you're going to be fluent in their language of behavior. You'll start to reconnect with your child because communication is finally in place. We're going to get to the root level of your child's problem behaviors and treat it, not just treat the symptoms. We figure out the root cause from the root, so the behaviors happen minimally or next to none. I've seen that in here. We're going to fix that. We're going to teach you how to live your life again, how to show up for an IEP meeting, a holiday party, plan a vacation, be a family. And when life happens, we can help you to get back on track. If a regression happens, we'll tell you exactly how to handle it. Teresa, it hasn't, we're going to be recording a video testimonial hopefully next week. Teresa is amazing mom. She had so many adversities happen to her, and she doubled down on her commitment to helping her son because she needed him to be able to be self-sufficient so she could take care of the rest of her family. Her mind was set right for that. And we want to help you to do that too. We're going to learn from trial and error rather than quitting on our kids. The only true fail is quitting. And we're going to teach you how to build that champion mindset so you no longer have to worry about autism every minute of every day. I think about autism every day, but not for my kid, it's for yours. How can I help more families? How can I get them to believe in what I'm saying, that they are the gatekeeper to their children's progress? And we guarantee results. I guarantee results in my program if you join. I'm not fucking around. So for tonight only, we're going to be putting up the link for you to join the masterclass. We're going to do a special tonight only till midnight Eastern Standard Time. If you join, we're going to do 2 bonuses. You're going to get 2 private sessions with me, and you're going to get 2 private sessions with the BCBA. And that is $2,000 of value right there. And another bonus, this masterclass is usually 90 days. For anyone who clicks the link and joins tonight, you're going to get 5 months instead of 3. And my guarantee, I don't know of another program out there like me, period. But even if there was, my guarantee blows everything away. I have an action-back guarantee, meaning that if after 90 days or 5 months in this case, you don't get the results you came for, and I'll double guarantee it if you're looking for potty training, communication, I'll triple guarantee it if you're looking for problem behavior too. You stay in the program until you do, or I'll give you your money back. That's how sure I am in what we do here. 100% success rate for potty training, 100% success rate for improved communication for children, talking children that came in pre-verbal. And for coming live tonight, the cost for the program is $1,997, or you could do 3 payments of $715 or 4 payments of $550. It's only $14 a day. 60 plus calls over the course of 5 months to change your life. 3 months is more than enough in my program. But you saw Kimberly stayed on. After your membership expires, we give you the option to stay on for like $59 a month. So she stays on. It's just like mental health for her. She loves this. But for you guys, 5 months for tonight, 2 privates with me, 2 privates with or maybe Armando, one of our BCBAs, $14 a day, 60 plus calls to change your lives. What you saw tonight in Armando, what you saw tonight, my daughter, it's possible for your babies. And all bonuses go away after midnight. You want to join now? Jen's going to put the link in the chat box for you. If you're thinking, I don't know if now is a good time, I believe time for our children on the spectrum is currency. You heard Armando talk about that. The sooner we can build on those foundational skills, the better the outcome. We can't afford to waste a minute not being strategic in how we're spending it to up-level our kids. There will never be a perfect time. We will help you create the time and use the time you already have more efficiently. And it's the worst to feel like all your time is full up and nothing is left for the things that you want for yourself. That's a huge one. You can't help your baby if your tank is empty. And I want to help you with that. If you don't have time now, it takes even longer to get these skills for your baby on your own. And if you're thinking, can I afford to spend the money on this? What is it costing you to not get your baby the big 3 now? What is it costing you in diapers, wipes, your time, your mental health? What is it costing your family? What educational opportunities, what types of classrooms or activities is your child missing out on? What is it costing them? And can you afford to pay this price any longer? And if you're thinking, I've failed so many times, how will this be different? You already know you're getting the result you have now. And this is the worst it's going to get. Getting started with me is the only way to actually get closer to getting what you want, and fast. I don't fuck around. We move fast. We work with you until and your baby until you win, and we don't quit. Make this time different. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about is unicorn syndrome. I constantly hear this. Julianne is different than my child. My child has severe autism. My child has multiple diagnoses. This works for other kids, but won't work for mine. My child's broken. I'm broken. There's nothing out there that will change the trajectory of my child. The fucking kiss of death sentence. Unicorn syndrome is a self-preservation state. If I stay here, I never put myself out there to have these hopes and dreams for my baby. And when that doesn't happen, I can't be hurt. Subconsciously, I can't risk trying and failing because I won't survive it. And this is the bullshit our brain feeds us. And this is what keeps us in the cave. People think the brain is like, a healthy brain would just make us happy and rich all the time. It's not true. A healthy brain is not to make you happy, is to keep you safe. It's keep you in the fucking cave. And right now, you're living and surviving this, and the brain is content. You've got to take the step out and your higher brain say, I want something different. I don't want to keep having the result I have now. Sitting and I don't know, or asking shitty questions with no real answers keeps you stuck and not taking action to help your baby now. It's the reason why you should join. We coach you through the stuckness. Indecision is keeping you second guessing and losing precious time that you could be making progress. We talk about I don't knows a lot in the program. We talk about the thing when parents say there's nothing to motivate my child. The I don't know, there's nothing to motivate my child. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm sure what I'm coaching is the cock block to progress for your kids. You have to break that dam to let the possibilities flush in. Nothing comes from an I don't know or bullshit questions you can't answer. Just decide. Decide you're not ready and won't do the work, or decide you're nervous but willing to go for it. I'm a fucking batshit crazy mom, but you know what? I bet she's got me. I bet she's got my back and she's going to help my baby. I'm going to jump. Give yourself the gift of the decision tonight. Honor yourself and your child right now. If this worry about autism is dominating your day and night, then join us. If there's something in you that identifies with what we've taught already today for you, and it makes sense, take the leap of faith and join us. Saying yes will have you and your baby moving forward to today. Joining me for tonight, all bonuses ends at midnight. The link is in the chat. Join me. You will not be sorry. I will not fail you. Your baby becomes my baby when you're in my program. I'm going to answer some questions. You watch this and we're going to get to Q&A. First one I wanted to ask is, why did you decide to work with me?
I got to a point where I was really overwhelmed, and I knew there was more I could do for Joseph, and I knew there was more room for him to learn.
We had just moved to our new location when we started working together, and you popped up and came into my life at the right time, because it really, even though I've moved so many times as a military spouse, I had never moved with a special needs child.
I would say our biggest struggles were I just didn't feel like we had exposure to the services that I was wanting for him. We didn't have any local ABA. He would talk with us, but not really with other people.
And I've been looking for something like this. You know, my son's 5 since he was diagnosed just before he turned 3. And you kind of feel like you're left out on your own in the cold.
So what did you enjoy most about working with me?
I cannot just pick one thing. From the start till now, I love everything. Your motivation, how you break things down, how you make it seem easy. And not just seem easy, but you give the tools and the steps of making it easy, breaking it down.
Well, you helped me pinpoint what my anxieties were, the steps I needed to take, and made it less abstract. than some other people have made it for me.
I mean, it was everything. Telling me, you know, when you talk to your insurance, you ask me this, you speak to this type of person, you know, and it just started taking that load off where I could see the accomplishments and I could see through the fog. And
So I kind of just wanted to ask you, if someone just found out that their child was diagnosed with autism, how important is it for them to have someone supporting them through this process? For example, like I'm a parent of a child who's nonverbal, who's now in an integrated second grade class with neurotypical children. Someone I've had experience to advise, so I can help advise somebody through this, what options are available for their child, assisting them in finding the right treatment. Is that something that you agree with?
Oh, absolutely. Because I just talked to mom the other day. She had a 2-year-old just been diagnosed, and she didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
You can't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Your mom will get completely stressed out. That does not work.
All right. So now, I guess, where are you now? You and your child, now that you've joined the program.
so we were not potty trained. We were not talking much. We were not, he wasn't able, if I told him to go get something, do any of those things. And now he will, he's totally potty trained. We go everywhere, just in our undies. We don't have to worry about that. He is speaking way more. He's gained so much independence, his ability to do things. And I can tell him, you know, Easton, go into your room and get your shoes or get your socks, and just seeing that he understands what I'm saying and he knows, and he goes and does it, and so happy with himself.
When I called you at first, I was really overwhelmed. But now, hardly, I would say I never get overwhelmed, but I'm able to retrace.
You helped me formulate the confidence in myself to realize how much it's ready and to really go for it. And I would not have gotten through it. And he's now potty trained, doing it on his own, taking himself. And it went so much better than I ever could have imagined.
Would you recommend our program to any moms or dads that are going through this right now?
Absolutely. Hands down, of everything we've done, this has been the best thing. This was the most support, and all the way around.
Any day, I will recommend you. I will recommend you, whoever has a child on the spectrum.
Yes, I don't want to stop.
Well, we're friends for life, don't you worry. Sisters for life.
I mean, if you have a chance to do this, I definitely recommend it. It has made all the difference.
I will recommend Michelle because she will walk you through. And it's not just about your kids, it's about you too.
Just having so much support in the different areas. It wasn't one little thing. It was like a full spectrum of support.
And you're still helping me work through, you know, how I can view everything better and how I can improve and how I can improve myself so that I can improve outcomes for my kiddos.
Whoever is out there that's confused, thinking there's no help and they are all by themselves, no, you're not all by yourself. Get with Michelle.
Absolutely, hands down, I would recommend this a million times.
All right. Awesome. And a little bit later, I'm going to share an email I got today. It was kind of like a blast from the past, but it was a mom thanking me for being a hard ass with her. Like I was just being a balls to the wall, like I am, you know, I'm just really like, I'm not, you know, it's funny. I'm not a safe space. So you're looking for a safe space. I'm not your safe space. I am here to help your baby. I'm here to help you, to help your baby elevate. And if you're looking for a safe space, maybe there's a Facebook group for that. But I am here to help your baby get the skills they need to live an independent life. Okay. So sometimes I have to say the hard thing. I try to say it with love, but I think because I'm a little edgy, it may come off that way. It was just an interesting email that came in today. How funny, because I'm doing this, we're doing this presentation. She said, you know, I thought you were such a, like, she borderline said I was like such an asshole, but I was right. And she needed it. And she'll never forget that. And I just touches my heart, even though, you know, I was tough on her. Okay, Samantha, you're going to go first. Let's do some coaching tonight. Let's have some fun for the rest of the night. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go. I'm going to promote the people who have their raised hands for coaching. I'm going to promote you to panelists. I would love it if you show your face, but if you're shy, that's fine. I'm in my Wonder Woman t-shirt here, okay? So if you can show your face, that's fine. Just unmute yourself. Let's get into coaching. I want to get as many questions answered as possible tonight. So let's go. And I'm going to try and answer questions in the chat as I go here. All right, Samantha, you're up. Samantha, where are you? Thank you, David. Oh, we have Jolie, Sarita, Jennifer. Welcome to the program. We're so excited to have you. Teresa, love you, kisses. Samantha, are you there? Going once, going twice. I do not see her. Let me just check one last time, Samantha.
We lost her. She's not.
Oh, we lost her. All right, next one up, Kennedy Cook. I am going to promote you to panelist. Your screen's going to blink, then you're going to come back up, unmute yourself, show us your pretty face, and let's get down to some coaching. Any questions? Let's see. Have you seen diet affect recovery? So this is where I've seen diet affect recovery. If your child has really loose stool, if they're constipated, not just basic constipation, I mean, they're bowled over in pain, it's affecting like their everyday. That's when I've seen, this is my own personal experience, where diet can make an effect for recovery. And that's why we do have a dietitian in the program, because I have a 100% success rate with potty training. I had this kid from North Carolina, and we were struggling to potty train because he got pee done, but he couldn't get poop because it was too loose and he couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough. And I was like, gosh, this is really frustrating. And then I didn't even realize he had loose stool until I happened to be kicking the can around with mom on one of the calls. And then I realized, oh, this isn't fair. You know, he can't get to the bathroom quick enough. So if anybody's here who wants to potty train, who has very painful constipation, like severe constipation or very loose stool, we want to correct that first and that gets a potty training. So yes, in those instances, those specific instances, when we address it with diet or supplements or both, I've seen it affect it's almost like it lifts a fog off the brain. And I've seen cognitive changes in those children. It's not to say it wouldn't work for a child that passes stools normally, but I've definitely seen it with children who have abnormal stools. Okay, Kennedy, let's go. Let's coach now. Let's have some fun.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing great. This was awesome. I like how down to earth you are. It's just really it's really comforting. And I appreciate you doing this for all of us. My question is, could I begin to potty train when he doesn't put on his shoes? He doesn't self-dress yet. So he's in pull-ups. I think this is just me pushing him into pull-ups. He doesn't pull down his pull-ups. He actually thinks it's funny to be on the toilet. It's like a game. So I like that he's enthusiastic about it. Like he's very curious about the potty. He just isn't potty trained yet, but he doesn't pull down. So could you and he was diagnosed.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
So yeah, could you potty train with him not drifting?
Yes, absolutely. The only thing you need to potty train a child, you do not need communication skills. You don't need them to be talkers. It'd be nice if they had communication skills. You don't really even need it. They don't need to be talkers. Yeah. They don't need to put shoes on. They don't need the fine motor of pulling pants down and pulling them back up. We just need to see the signs of potty readiness. So let me just go over some of that with you guys. If you don't know, the signs of potty readiness, I'm pulling up our potty pocket guide here, is one thing he's already doing. He's curious about what goes on in the bathroom. That is a sign that a child's ready to potty train. Can he stay dry for hours? So have you ever just checked his pull up and it's dry for a while and all of a sudden it's loaded? Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good sign. Does he have regular bowel movements?
Yes. Immediately after he eats, that's when it happens.
I love a teller. He's got a pattern. I love patterners. Okay. Does he ever try to take off a dirty diaper?
Oh, well, I tried to take it off. No, explored in it.
Yeah,
yes.
That's fine. Playing with poop counts. And all right, perfect. So all you need, so these are the average ones I always look for: staying dry for 2 hours, regular bowel movements, ability to follow simple instructions, demonstrate discomfort with being dirty. So that could be putting his hands in his pants and pulling out the poop. pulling pants up or down or ripping the diaper off, or saying that they need a diaper change, or showing you bringing. I love this when they bring you the pull up, like, okay, hey,
Yeah.
take care of this. You only need one of these, and your
Oh,
child
wow.
is potty
Okay.
trained. That's right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
knowing all of this, yes, so your child is ready to potty train. So let's talk about this. I'm excited. What have you tried, Kennedy? What's his name, by the way?
Christopher.
And how old is Christopher?
He turned 4 in August. He's 4.
So Christopher is ready. What have you tried to potty train him? What have you done?
Just taking him to the pot like every hour or so when he's home.
Okay.
It just gets lost at school, in pre-K and daycare, because I don't know, they just
Okay,
don't.
that's fine.
So
So you
it
take
it,
him
it
every
turned
hour. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, you take him every hour, and then has he ever eliminated on the potty?
Yes.
Oh, okay, excellent. So like with pee, poop, both.
Poop. Yeah.
Okay.
And he likes the toilet when it flushes. So
He likes the toilet when it flushes, but he's actually eliminated just poop. He hasn't eliminated pee. Usually it's the other way around.
yeah, no pee.
All right, so just poop. How often?
I was able to get him to do that once.
One time.
So
Okay. And when was that?
that's been like a month ago.
Okay. So what do you think? Why do you think he's not getting it?
Well, one, I and it's my fault because I stopped because the school just wasn't. So it was like, okay, if I potty train at home, but he gets to pre-K and they're not potty training him, then it makes no difference. And so I was like, well, I'll just wait till I get ABA therapy. That way the therapist is there to do this training to support what I'm doing at home. So that's really what I felt like I needed. That's why I stopped, because I was like, okay, I'm potty training him home, but then he goes to school, he can go all day and they're not even trying to do anything. So that's why I stopped.
Okay. So when he did go poop on the potty that one time, how did you celebrate?
So I clapped, I said, yay, and I gave him a gummy bear.
Does he like gummy bears?
Yes.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you call a gummy bear for him?
For him, as far as like
desire. How much does he love a gummy bear?
Well, he'll eat them. He's not really he likes them. He likes them. He's not super excited
like
about
not
them.
love. Yeah, right. So what you say, like a 6, 7?
Yeah, like 6 or 7. Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
oh great, he's happy. Yeah,
Got it. All right. So we have a situation here. We have a couple of things going on. You were very honest about it, that you stopped because you had some type of thought that he needed. First, you thought when we first started talking, do you think he needs to be able to pull his pants up and down? Because he doesn't put his shoes on. And then maybe, you know what? I'm going to wait because they're not going to follow through at school. And then, maybe when ABA starts, and then that's what I'll get going. Right. So there's nothing wrong here. It's just that the reason why it hasn't progressed is because we haven't tried again. Right.
Right.
We haphazardly got it one time, and I don't know like what you were thinking, but I guess at that point maybe you were thinking, like, was it difficult to get that one poop?
Oh no, it's not difficult. I mean, he wants to stay on for maybe like only like a few moments, so you have to kind of like
okay, so you caught that was like you caught that poop because you know exactly.
Yeah, I caught because it was right after he ate.
Yes.
And I know when he eats certain things, like his he's picky. He doesn't eat meat, but he loves chili spaghetti. So, well, it's chili, it's beans, it's that. So I know that when he ate that, I was like, okay, yeah, I know right after this he's going, because he had followed up with apple juice. So yeah, he's gonna poop after this.
Awesome.
So that's how I was able to caught it. Yeah.
I got it. All right. So here's the thing. When you want to potty train, we want to make sure we have a couple of things going on first before we potty train. First thing is we want to have our data. This is the last page of the Potty Pocket Guide. This is a guide that I sell. It's a $10 guide. And basically the last page is just a toilet tracking data sheet. And on it, you can like check it every hour, check his diaper every hour, when he's wet, when he's dry, when he has a bowel movement. Good news is she already knows when he's having a bowel movement. Now I want to know how often is he wet? When does it happen? And then what I want to do is put a plan in place to potty train. But before I can do that for Christopher, I've got to get him to be able to sit and not pop back up. So the reason why she was deterred and she probably felt a little discouraged is that she knew that even though she happened to catch the poop and they praised him, she knew every time it came down to getting him to pee, it's going to be a pain in the ass. She knew this time she's going to get him and she didn't want to do it anymore. So, and I get that. So what the first thing we want to do is before we even start a potty training protocol, we want to just get him to sit neutrally. So basically, it depends. We want to baseline what sitting neutrally will look like for him at first. It could be sitting on the potty with pants on. And we want to get him sitting up to 3 to 5 minutes on the potty, no crying, no holding them down, no you hovering over them, wanting to sit for 3 to 5 minutes, enough time for a pee or poop to come out. And if you have a boy and you're just starting out and you need both pee and poop, have them sit because they have to sit to poop. Like we'll get a lot of parents that'll join the program saying like, we got pee on lock, but he stands to pee and he won't sit to poop. The first thing we have to do is just get him neutral to sitting. So how do I do that? So this is a great opportunity where a gummy bear could come into play, right? The idea, we're going to talk about rewards in a minute. The idea here with this reward is you want to give him a little something for sitting. So you're going to try and say, okay, Christopher, go sit down on the potty. And you're going to time it, how long he'll sit before he pops back up. So let's say it's 30 seconds. You're going to say, great. We're going to set a timer, an audible timer. You can do something on your phone or whatever, and say for 40, when the timer goes off, you're going to set it for 40 seconds the next time. You sit on the 40 seconds, I'm going to give you a gummy bear. I'm going to give you bubbles. I'm going to give you tickles. I'm going to give you a sticker. I'm going to give him a little reward for sitting for 40. Then once he sits for 40, I'm going to do 45. And you do this like 4 or 5 times a day over a course of a couple of days. You'll get this done within a week where he'll just be sitting neutrally. Once you have that, every time you ask him, he sits and you get it up to about 3 to 5 minutes, then you can potty train.
Okay.
You see how like him not sitting is just super discouraging for you.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, maybe it's, and this is the thing about like our thoughts. And that's why thought work is so important in our program. Like your brain just starts giving you reasons why not to move forward with this. Oh, he doesn't have the fine motor. Oh, you know what? How about preschool doesn't follow through? So why am I even going to bother? And this is the thing. If anyone thinks that school is going to potty train your child, you'd be sorely mistaken. If you have a school that does it, I bow down to you. I actually talked to a mom today who was a teacher, and she said that she potty trains the kids in her class. Absolutely love that. Bow down. That is not the norm. What happens is you set the pace at home. You get about 80% or better of success, and then you send them into school with a bunch of underwear and a bunch of changes of clothes with the schedule. Okay, you're going to put them 5 minutes on, 10 minutes off. That's what you'll start it with first. You want to do a potty intensive after. You want to do your actual potty protocol after you've got him to sit 3 to 5 minutes, pants down with no issue.
Okay.
How does that feel?
That feels awesome.
All right, good. Well, keep me posted. Let me know how it works out for you. All right.
I definitely will. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. All right, Samantha, you're up. I see you came back. Hi. I can hardly hear you. Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear her? Can everybody hear her? Or is it just me? I'm putting you up.
No, I can't hear her.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got to speak up, Samantha.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little on and off. Why don't you try talking? Let me see if it gets better.
Can you hear me now?
It's very faint, but I can hear enough. So tell me what can I help you with today?
Kind of the same thing. My son is having a really hard time.
I lost all audio now. I can't hear you.
You know?
Yes, much better.
This way. So I have a 5-year-old son.
What's his name?
He's Zach.
Zach. Hi, Zach. Okay.
Literally tried everything possible. He was almost potty trained at age 2, and then he broke his femur. And then after being cast, he's lost all interest 100% on potty training.
Okay.
And we've literally, he's good to go. Like if we tell him, we set a timer, okay, every hour, let's go try. He'll go pee most of the time. And if we catch the poop on a rare day, we can get him to poop in the potty. But he's lost track in all rewards, charts, anything and everything we've tried. He's lost all interest in it.
Okay. Got it. All right. All right. So let's talk about the P. So the P, would you say if you tell him when to go, could you have a 100% success day?
Oh no, it's maybe 30, 40%.
And why do you think that is? Like if you catch him, let's say you took him every half hour, you don't think you'd get it? You don't think you'd have a good day?
When we set the timer for every hour.
Okay.
And occasionally morning and evening, like getting ready for bed, he'll want to go or he will go. But then during the day, he's preoccupied. He doesn't want to waste the time to try and go.
Okay.
He's like, he just ignores the time, doesn't want to even try, doesn't have an interest in it.
Okay. All right. So basically what we want to do here, I want to look at a couple of things here. So there are times every day that he'll go to the bathroom on his own, even without being prompted?
It's slightly prompted. It's like first thing in the morning when he wakes up, okay, let's go to the bathroom, let's get dressed for the day. And then same when we're going to bed, okay, let's put your jammies on, let's go potty and then get your jammies on. And so we're kind of prompting him, but it's more or less just kind of the routine now. That's just the 2 times he'll always go. Okay, that's interesting. It's a routine. So let me just play a scenario with you. If you took him every 30 minutes, do you think you could get that percentage up to like 80% or 100? No, because he fights us on it. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But assuming he didn't fight, do you think you'd probably get much better success, right? Because you're taking him more. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, got it. All right. So let's talk about the fighting part right here. So when he goes on his own, there's no fighting. He goes in there, he does his business. Yes. Okay, got it. And is he a stander peer or sit to pee? Stander. Stander. Okay, got it. Stands to pee. Stands to pee. Got it. Okay. But when you ask him to go, he gives you resistance. Yes. Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to start stacking wins in his favor. But first thing we have to do with him is give him a little taste of winning without having to actually like eliminate for it. So what I would like to do first is just getting him to go in there. We have to run 2 programs with him because he's halfway potty trained. So I know it doesn't feel that way. We just got to like work the system to get him to want to do it more often. Right now, whatever he's doing is more desirable than going. So I'm going to ask about that in a minute, but we're going to run 2 programs with him. One is because he's learned to stand to pee. And this is why I always say with boys in the beginning, if you have a choice, make them sit to pee and stick and poop because they have to sit to poop. So the first thing we want to do is run a little program where we get him to sit. That ask is super easy because we're not asking him to do anything. We're asking him to eliminate. We're just asking him to sit on it. And for sitting, we want to see if we ask him to sit, we're going to baseline the data just like we did with Christopher, the last mom we spoke to, her son. And we're going to see how long he'll sit before he pops back up. And then we're going to make a game out of it, right? We're going to say, okay, Zach, if you sit for 40 seconds, I'm going to give you a cookie. Now, I don't care what it is. We're going to talk about rewards in a minute because I know you told me that you've tried everything. If he does that, he gets the cookie. And the ask is so light because we're not asking him to eliminate, we're just asking him to sit. So that's one way we want to build up his tolerance to want to go in there. And we also are pairing the entering the bathroom and sitting on the toilet is now paired with something rewarding. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a cookie. We'll go over the rewards thing in a second. The other part of this that we want to work on is he in a pull-up during the day now or is he wearing underwear? We've tried both. During schools, he has to be in a pull-up. Most of the time at home, he's in a pull-up. Okay. On the weekend, we try to do what we call big boy underwear, just regular underwear. Usually the mornings, he's fairly good, but by mid-afternoon, he's had quite a few accidents, and then he just doesn't want them anymore. He wants to go back to the pull-ups. Because why? They're comfortable. They're familiar. Yeah, fuck yeah. And a pull-up is meant to pull moisture away from my ass, and it makes it so I can run around with it full, and it's great. So the idea here with potty training in general is we want to create a world where, listen, doing it in your pants, it's not good anymore. Doing it here, oh, it's so much better. It's so much easier and it's cleaner and you can get back to your business really fast. He doesn't understand that there's a much better way to do this, especially if he can still piss and shit his pants without breaking a sweat, right? So the idea here is when we start to actually potty train him, we're going to be committed to no longer allowing him to wear diapers. Now he can wear diapers to school. The idea here is when we do this, hi baby, we want to set an intensive over a weekend or a 3-day weekend where we can work on this with him and stay committed through the process.
And I'm going to keep going through this with you. So the idea here is that diapers are no longer an option for you at home. Now, I know if depending on how we do it that intensive, it may no longer be an option for school either. The only time diapers would be allowed during when we are fully committed to getting potty training and we're not going back is for naps and bedtime temporarily. The idea here is like, this is no longer a part of our home. You will wear underwear. And if you soil the underwear, you're going to come with me. We're going to dump the poop in the toilet together. You're going to help the cleanup process. See how we're kind of taking it. Yeah. And you see what's happening here? Like the idea here is that we're making his world of wanting to shit his pants, like really uncomfortable, not great. And then on the other side of actually eliminating the toilet, we're going to make this world so much more fun and enticing. And that's the next part we're going to talk about, which is the reward system. So first, before we talk about reward systems for actually eliminating, do you think a reward system would work just to get him to sit on the potty to build some reps up of like just sitting with no requirement of elimination?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he'll sit now. So that's, I mean, we have books and stuff that keeps him on there. Sometimes he'll sit for 15, 20 minutes sometimes and not do anything.
Okay, got it. So the idea is just to get some reps of going in there and getting rewarded just for going in there. Okay. And something light. We don't want to pick our 10 for this. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about with Christopher's mom. She's still on. This is one of the things for everybody. The reward has to be 10 times the ask. That's why I say on a scale of 1 to 10, whatever it is that you're presenting, it has to, there you go. Hi, Candace. It has to be a 10. She said gummy bears were a 6. And if I had to guess, gummy bears are a 6, probably because he could have them at any time, not every day, but he can have access to them. The way you take something and make high desire is you withhold it. If I want to make gummy bears the reward, but he can have gummy bears with grandma or the babysitter or whatever, then it doesn't have that. It's nice, I'll take it, right? It'd be great for sitting on the potty, but to eliminate for that, nah, I think I'll shit my pants. You know what I mean? So the idea here is to think about what he's interested in and what is like a 10 in his life that we can use as the reward for potty training. So what are your thoughts about that when you think about it?
That I need to find out something he likes and not let him have it.
All right. So what are some things that come to mind that you think are a 10 in his life?
Well, his number 1 is he loves to play Nintendo.
Okay.
Word or not? I mean,
that baby right now with Nintendo. They just bought him a Switch. All right. So a Nintendo, he loves that.
Oh, that's his 100%. That's his go-to. That's his favorite thing in the world right now.
I love it. On a scale from 1 to 10, 12?
Oh, 15.
15. Okay. Guess what? You're gonna have this baby. You're gonna have this boy pie training about a day. Because guess what? Now I'm not saying. Yeah, you already know it's coming. I'm not saying that we rip it out of his arms right now. He goes to bed. That thing goes bye-bye. He wakes up tomorrow. Where's fuck if I know, right? And sorry, how you have a child there. Then I say, guess what, Zach? This weekend, mommy got you all new underwear. I got you all this cool stuff, and I have your Nintendo. And every time you pee or poop in the potty, you pee on the potty, I give you 10 minutes of Nintendo time. And if you poop on the potty, I give you 30 minutes of Nintendo time. What do you think he would do?
He'd scream and throw a fit.
Okay, well, yeah, because now it's like, what? Well, he's going to do that tomorrow when it's gone. The idea here is right now, everybody, the Nintendo is his top thing. And it's so desired. I'm assuming he gets it. He gets to play with it a lot. So now that's going to change. Now, I'm not trying to torture her or torture her child. The idea here is whenever I have something that a child loves like that, I'm like, ooh, I love it because I need to always have power over that. So I can use that to teach them important life skills. So if this was an iPad, I don't have my phone here. Oh, here's my phone. And they love the phone. This is always a big one for us, iPads and phones or any electronic device. They're meant to be addictive. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with electronics with kids at all, as long as it's under my control and supervision. So I can use it to up-level them. So I know if he gets the Nintendo and he gets it often, it's going to suck at first, sure. Yeah, especially when tomorrow he's going to come home or tomorrow he's going to wake up and it's gone. And he's going to be looking everywhere for like, shit, if I know where it is, you know? And he's going to, the reason why I say to do this is because I want to build that desire. He's already at a 15 for that Nintendo. He's going to be like a 20 when she represents it to him again. And the idea here is when she comes in with the new underwear and she tells him, guess what? We're going to pie train. You could even build it up and say, listen, we're going to pie train this weekend, but it's going to be funnest that we've ever done it. It's going to be like fucking going to Disney World because we're going to make this so fun. I got a special surprise for you. Wait till you find it. You're going to be so excited. And he's not going to know what that is. And you're just going to be saying this and every day, 2 more days, no more diapers. You're going to do it next weekend or whatever you're going to do. 3 more days, no more diapers. I'm so excited. We're going to say bye-bye to the diapers. The diaper fairy's coming to take all the diapers away. No more diapers. You're going to be in big boy underwear and you're going to go on the potty train. It's going to be so fun. We're going to read potty books between then, potty stories. We're going to sing potty songs. And I've got such a special thing planned, right? In the meantime, he's going to be scourging for this Nintendo. You're going to be like, I have no clue where it is. He's going to find other things to entertain him. Then you're going to present the Nintendo and say, guess what? Mommy found your Nintendo. And if you pee on the potty, mommy's going to give you 10 minutes of Nintendo time. And if you poop, you get 30 or whatever it is you want to decide for that. Now, let's say he does the unthinkable and has a tantrum, right? He's like, what? Oh my God, you've had it this whole time. He starts crying, right? Yeah, you think that's what he's going to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then what happens? He's going to want it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens?
He just keeps whining and screaming and tearing things apart. And
all right, so we're going to put away our precious knickknacks. Okay. Then what happens?
Well, we pretty much send him, we have him go to his bed, and that's kind of the time where we almost let him calm himself down. We've tried the training him, we've tried, the tantrums, and it's like, go to your bedroom, you have a bed with,
he doesn't have to go to his bedroom. I could give a shit. The idea here is that we can all survive this. A tantrum is a heightened state, right? Eventually he's going to calm down and move on. The idea here is, right, a boy, any child who tantrums, this is a rawest, purest form of communication, meaning that I tantrum to communicate, and it has worked in the past. That's the only reason a child tantrums is because it served them at least one time. All they need is one time to reinforce the behavior. It's so easy to do, and it's so blood curdling for most to hear that it serves them well. We have to teach them this is no longer going to get you what you need. And this goes for communication too, for everyone here. And I'm not talking about making a nonverbal child just magically speak. We have to meet you where you're at. That's what my program does. We kind of meet you where you're at, and we build out blueprints like this, because her son is at a point where he kind of knows what he's doing in there. It's just not preferred. We're going to make it so that it is preferred. This is the only way you're going to want to do it. There's no other way. And every time you do it, you're going to get access to that amazing thing. And yeah, he is going to, maybe he will be upset, but he'll be fine. He's going to get over it, and you're going to be fine too. It's the idea of this, and if you think about using something that's a 15 that you withhold for a couple of days, will be a 20 by the time you give it to him. He'll be potty trained by like Sunday. No doubt in my mind. For the mom who tried everything, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've
tried this. What'd you say?
So we've been trying to potty train for about 3 years.
Yes. Would it be fucking crazy if it was done in a weekend? Yeah. It was always in him.
Similar, but nothing to this extreme.
Yeah, but like, what do you mean nothing to this extreme? Holding back the Nintendo, you mean?
Yeah, like we'll usually let him play with it, and then if he has an accident in his pants, then we'll take it away.
See how this is different? Yeah, but see that what she's doing is what we call negative reinforcement. If you do something bad, it gets taken away. What if you do something good and you earn the right to use it? That changes it, right? Yeah, then I want to do that more and more instead of forgetting and get, doing it in my pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so what I would do, what'd you say?
I said he gets so focused on the game that's kind of where he's forgetting.
Exactly. The idea here is to turn it around, and you can't get focused on the game that much if you're not letting them have it more than 20 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So because he's already kind of halfway there, and I want you to believe like you're halfway there. There's plenty of parents here who'd be like, I'd be dying for what she's got. If you start this weekend or whatever weekend you decide, the switch disappears in the morning. You represent it as the reward system for potty training, whatever day it is that you decide to do it. And the idea here is that instead of taking him every hour, you're going to set a timer and he's going to go every 30 minutes. We're going to stack wins for him. He's going to get lots of access to this. And when the timer comes off, he's got to give it back. And he may throw a fit. Everyone will survive.
Oh, yeah.
How's that feel?
It's some good ideas. That's definitely something else to try.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, keep me posted. Let me know how he does. You're very close. I'm excited for you. Think about Teresa. She got fucking getting these 1 pound Reese's peanut butter cups and chopping it up with a hatchet. This whole visualize her is chopping up a big 1 pound peanut butter cup with a hatchet every time her kid takes a shit. I love it. All right, will you keep us posted, okay, Samantha?
All right, thank you.
All right, no problem. I'll talk to you soon. All right, let's do Andrea next. So fun, so fun. Let's see, while she's let's see, we got another new member to the masterclass. I can't see your name, but welcome. Let's see. How would you assist a 2-year-old who seems to have comprehension issues, doesn't respond to commands? Amy, let's chat. I need more information on that. Why do you believe that she doesn't have comprehension skills? Hi, Andrea, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry. My son was in my lap and I couldn't get to you right away.
No worries.
My question today was about the potty training, but also too, he got sick off of chicken nuggets one time, and after that he stopped eating anything except for crackers, sausage links, and little muffins. That's it. He won't eat anything else. And my question to you is, is there something or some within your program about eating and
yeah,
trying?
Absolutely. So we actually had a mother from Ireland, and this was really, it was sad, but I'm so happy that she found me. He was almost going to be put on a feeding tube. It was a very similar situation where he was very, very picky. She couldn't put weight on him. CPS was, whatever Ireland CPS was, is what they were going to call on her because of his eating issues. Eating issues is probably the 4th on the list when it's so severe like this. And what happened is he had a traumatic experience associated with one of the minimal things that he will eat. So now he won't eat that anymore. So the idea here is, yes, in my program, we customize blueprints for all things autism. I consider myself like the Harvard of autism. We cover every challenge that you face. So what we did, because Juliana is a picky eater as well, we do something called the Picky Eater Protocol. And you'll get access to this when you join the program, and we customize this for your baby. What I would do, the first food I would pick to have him reintroduced to is what he used to eat, which is the chicken nuggets. That would make you happy, right?
Yes.
So what we want to do is we want to do something I call it this, I don't know what it's fucking called technically, but it's called a bite for bite protocol. And the idea here is we actually do these space sessions. They have to be hungry when we do it. Now when you said he only eats crackers, sausage links, and muffins, does he eat any junk?
No. You know what? No, I take that back. He does like cake, like birthday cake or something like that. He'll eat that. And he eat his vitamins. Every morning I give him like 7 different vitamins.
And he eats them. Okay, and the gummies, what are they?
Yeah, the gummy flavor. Yeah.
Have you ever given him those gummy fruit snacks or gummy bears or anything like that?
Yeah, and he'll eat them sometimes, but I think it's overkill because he eat the gummies, the gummy vitamins.
Does he like the gummy vitamins? Does he like them? Like he looks forward to them?
Yeah, because I put them down with his muffins and his sausage links, and he'll eat the vitamins before he touches food.
And the muffins, are they like little mini like chocolate chip muffins, blueberry muffins? What are they?
Yes, so he liked the chocolate chip and he liked the birthday cake ones, but the other ones he won't. And he know the difference of brand of the muffins, and he know a difference of brand and sausage links.
Okay.
If you switch the brand, he won't eat it.
Hi there, Trouble. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So what I would do with him, we want to obviously, when we're doing a picky eating protocol, when we're doing a bite for bite, you want to do it when he's hungry. So the idea here is to catch him when he's hungry when we're going to do this. So the first thing we want to do is baseline him. Same thing I do with potty training. We want to see if I put like 3 chicken nuggets on a plate in front of him, what will he do? Will he freak out? Will he run away? Will he push the plate away? We got to get him neutral. Same thing as like getting rid of potty phobia. Get him neutral just to the side of the plate in front of him.
That's he'll push it away.
Got it. So the idea here is first, before we even get him to take any bites of them, we want to just get him to be okay with them being in front of him. Oh, good job. So what I would do is just while I'm giving him breakfast or those vitamins, I just put the plate there. He may pull it away or whatever and say, no, these are for me, or whatever. Just put him in the middle of wherever he'll not touch them. And each time he sits down for a meal or whatever, just start bringing it a little closer and closer. You're not asking him to eat it. The idea here is him not to just be so visceral in his knee-jerk reaction to kick it out of the way. This takes patience, but with a situation like this, you have to do this because we don't want his palate to go smaller and smaller. We want to go the other way.
Exactly.
So even if you have to bring it and just lay down a little plate in the playroom, lay down a little plate near his bed, just to get him used to the idea that these aren't, they won't hurt you. You know what I mean? We don't even know what he's thinking. Like the last time he got sick on them, violently sick on him, he may just have this association that they're terrible things. We just want to get him neutral. Once we get him to that point, we want to see where the child is. Some children progress past this point very fast. Sometimes some need more support. So let's say he gets to that. Next thing we want to do is just reward him for just touching it. Can you just touch the nugget and just get him to touch it? If he touches it, then he gets a little bite of muffin. Now I start with holding the muffins. I don't sit that down. Now when we get to this stage, I'm starting to get ready to do a bite for bite. And we want to always do this when they're hungry. If they're not hungry, this isn't going to work. Even if you want to do if he likes drinks, does he like any types of drinks?
Yeah, he only drinks like the juice boxes.
Perfect. So what I would be doing is I'd start what about water? Does he do water?
Every blue moon.
Okay. So these are the things we can start to build out some ideas here in the sense of what I would do. How does he drink the juice box? Out of the box? So you put it in a cup.
The juice box. Yep. I try to give him in different forms, and he won't drink it at all. But he will try to drink a sip of water from the little small mini water bottles. So every blue moon he'll drink from there.
So what if you put some juice in the mini small water bottle?
Yeah, I tried that too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while he'll try it. Every once in a while.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
and it's been
why do you think
over a year.
Since
it's been over. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. It's been over a year since you tried that.
It's been over a year since he stopped eating other foods.
Okay, so that's fine. What I want to come to is if I put when you said that sometimes when you put the juice in another cup or in the small water bottle, a couple of times he did drink from it.
A couple of times, but most times he'll just push it away.
Because he knows
I'm going to eventually give him the juice box. Yeah. Yeah.
The only time he drank it those times is because the desire was higher. Remember, this is about the reward system again, guys, right? If desire is high, you're going to see a lot of behavior or these glimpses of the behavior you wish they do all the time, which is drink that juice from any cup. I wouldn't even be presenting it to him in the box anymore. I'd be putting it in all different cups. The idea here is to get him used to different things in front of him that go in his mouth, like for food and drink. Especially because thirst is primal, right? He could be running around, he's going to get thirsty. And if there's juice, but it's in a cup and he's thirsty, he's going to drink it.
Okay.
But if he's been able to hold out with you in the past and you feel bad and you're just okay, you waited 20 minutes, here's your juice box.
That's true.
And then he knows he's going to wait that long till you hold out. The idea here is that we're not trying to dehydrate her son. We're trying to get it so that he understands his world can't go. So we can't entertain a child's life and just keep making their world smaller and smaller. So I always see these posts and everybody laughs about it. Autism parent will know, and the car's full of the same fucking chicken nuggets. It's half funny, but it's half not, right? Because I don't want this to be my life. I don't want to be identified as the mom that's got to buy a fucking crate load of chicken nuggets because he won't eat anything.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's right.
Exactly. So it's tongue in cheek, but really not. The idea here is to start widening his horizons, which means we got to create a little bit of uncomfortableness for everybody, but not uncomfortable. I don't consider it bad uncomfortable. This is good uncomfortable. This is going to help him elevate and grow. So when it comes to so what happens is after you get past the point where you just get used to looking at the nuggets, then it's bite for bite in the sense of interact with the nugget. I give you a piece of muffin, not even the whole muffin. You just drop a piece in the plate, and then now put it to your mouth, sniff it. If he sniffs it, he puts his face close to it, he gets another piece. All right, now, and this may not be in one setting. You're going to have to baseline this. We have like a whole protocol. We work on this in the program. Then we say, okay, if you just touch it to your lips, and then maybe he gets a whole muffin for that. It really depends on how he's responding to each step of this. And then it's like, okay, then you take it and you make it a pea size, right? A pea size amount for one whole muffin. Do you see how the ask, the reward is 10 times the ask, literally in size. He gets a whole mini muffin for a pea-sized piece of chicken.
Okay.
Remember, he has to be hungry, and he's going to throw a fit because that's what's worked in the past. Just like any other, I know that if I don't eat it, and he has the option here, he doesn't have to eat it, but he doesn't get the muffins either. The idea here is we're working on a taste test. We're not going to do it, I'm not trying to starve him. The idea here is to work and just get him trying stuff. And you're going to, all my touch when it comes to this, we do about 10 pea-sized sessions where they take 10 bites or 10 sessions of taking a couple of pea-sized bites before we move on to the next size.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's a gentle increase. And we have been working on ice cream for Juliana for years, but it's been stop and go because we work on other things in the meantime. We just got it to where she's eating about half a cup of cookies and cream ice cream from Baskin Robbins. See how clear it is? And this is what happened. But like, we've been working on this. These are one of the things that it's probably one of the more tedious programs to run, but it's going to be the one that means the most because we want to make sure that he gets the nutrients he needs, not just from the vitamins you're giving him.
Okay.
Does that seem doable, helpful, all the things?
Yeah, that seems helpful. I'll try that, because I do give in, because I want to make sure he eats something, but.
Yes. Awesome. All right, well, keep me posted. Let me know. We always start with the things that they used to eat, and then we go back to them. And then once we get chicken nuggets down, then we want to say, okay, you got the Purdue nuggets down. Now he's got to try the McDonald's. Now he's got to do the other nuggets. You want to generalize it. See how you knew with the muffins? I'd be messing with that now. Like, all right, you know what? What if I just one day just offered him those muffins? He could have the other ones later. Let's see what happens. You see what I'm saying? When they're hungry enough, nature's going to call. When he's thirsty enough, nature's going to call. He's going to drink out of a cup if there's no other way to get it.
Okay. I got it.
You're not thinking about starving your kids. You got to go by touch. You're going to lean into that mom intuition again to get this done.
Okay. I got you.
All right. Keep you posted. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Will.
All right. I love it. Okay. Bye. All right. We're going to take one more and then we're going to wrap for the night because I am like running out of steam. But this is fun. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. Maybe we'll get a communication one up here. Leilani, I'm promoting you to panelist. Join our program. You guys got to join. You're going to have so much fun with me. You get me for like months. I wanted this lady to tell me it was all right to read her email, but she didn't. But I'm gonna ad-lib it. Leilani, promoting you to panelist. Your screen's gonna blink. You're gonna pop up on the screen. And you're gonna unmute yourself. Oh, she declined. All right, we're gonna go to Yaya. Yeah, promote to panelists. And while you were talking, I'm going to answer questions or try. KDK, me again. My son can identify when he needs to poop. Yay! But is scared to actually let it happen. If he is wearing underwear, he will hold it in, but will go in a pull-up. If I sit him on the potty when I know he needs to go, he will sit there for a minute and then get too nervous and get up and hold it in. I don't know how to break the barrier and help him finally go. And it's beyond rewards. They don't help in this scenario. I could disprove that, Katie. If we were actually talk, you should join my program. So what we want to do with him is we want to make sure Yaya declined to be, all right, I'm going to do Crystal next. One more. Crystal, you're up. What we want to do, Katie, here is we first want to make sure that your Crystal's coming. We want to make sure that we are not suffering from any potty phobia, especially if you think he's scared to poop. If he'll just sit neutrally without you requesting it, without you just taking him when you know he's got to go, and give that a little rewards. First, we want to make sure that works. I'm not talking about the major reward like we talked about with Zach's mom, right, with the Nintendo. We're talking about just a little something to get him some wins and some good associations with the bathroom. Then I would love to talk to you about why you think he's scared to actually poop. It is a different sensory experience and they don't get as many times to practice it. So we just got to honor that. But we want to really analyze what we're seeing. Like, why do you think he's scared? Like, give me details as to like, what's making you think it's fear that you're seeing? And then the other thing is it's beyond rewards. They don't help in this scenario. I want to understand what you've tried, why you think that. It was interesting because Zach's mom said, we've tried everything. We've been doing this for 3 years. And we just talked for about, 10 minutes. And it was like, oh, we're using that Nintendo. I guarantee she comes back and says, Michelle, he's potty trained the weekend after she does it. All right, Crystal, you're up. Crystal. Got to unmute.
Can you hear me? Okay, there we go.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Rocking it out. Almost 10 o'clock. That's past my bedtime.
I know. My question to you, so my son is 4 years old, and he's in CPSC, and he also goes to daycare. So at his school, they're like, all the children, he's in a 8:1 to 2 class ratio. I always get it mixed up, so I hope I said that right. He was in a 10:1 to 2 classroom, and then they downsized him to an 8:2 to 1, or however you say it, classroom setting. So there's more on-hand staff there. So at school, they're really good with like taking him to the bathroom, but he's gotten into like this routine where it's like he goes to the bathroom, he sits on the toilet or the potty, and then he'll sit for a second and then pop and get right back up, and then says, all done, time to wash your hands, and like washes his hands. So like he follows this routine. And then if at home, if I try to get him to use the bathroom, he'll do the same exact thing. He'll go to the bathrooms, he'll sit on the toilet for maybe a second, and then pop right back up and then request to wash his hands. And that's the ending cycle.
Got it.
So I want to know.
Is the washing hands like fun for him? He likes that?
I don't necessarily know that it's fun for him. I think he enjoys it, but he's very like routine based. So that's what they do at school. So he's like into a strict routine. Like everything he does like is a routine.
Got it. So here's the thing, right? He's suffering from what the other kids were, which is the potty phobia, meaning that he doesn't want to, whether it's real phobia, I don't care. That's what I just call it. Meaning that he won't sit for more than a second when he pops back up. Now you're saying it's like, oh, because he's in the routine, because he knows once he pops back up, he's got to wash his hands. Now I'm not sure about that. That's why I asked, like, is it a payoff for him? Does he enjoy sudsing up, turning the water on, putting his hands in? A lot of kids like to play with that.
I don't think he really enjoys that as much. He'll do it, but I don't think that he gets that much joy.
It would have been awesome. Seen him. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I've seen him get joy from other things, and that's not really it. No.
Okay, fair enough. So what he's trying to do is just kind of bust through it and like, see, I did it. I'm done. Stop asking. Right?
Yeah.
So now we want to tell him what we want to do is baseline what the real number is. If it's 1 second, 3 seconds, whatever. And now we're going to say, like, tell me some of the things that do bring him joy.
Coloring, watching his iPad, singing, me reading him bedtime stories, hugs, kisses.
Kisses.
Yeah.
Does he like bubbles, tickles, piggyback rides?
Yeah.
Like
he loves tickles. Yes.
Oh, okay. So what if we did something where, like, listen, what's your son's name?
Saint.
Oh, I like that, Saint. What if we said, Saint, guess what? If you sit on the potty and you wait for the audio timer to go off, right? And once it goes off, you wait till it goes off, then you pop back up, you wash your hands, and I'm going to give you a tickle session. What do you think he would do?
He would tell me to tickle him right there and then. He wouldn't wait for the timer.
Right? So the idea here is we've got to keep testing out rewards till it's enough for the ask. Now, this is really easy. We're not asking them to eliminate. We're just asking them to sit. And that's what you're going to tell him. Listen, mommy only wants you to sit. And we're going to test it. Like, would he sit longer if his pants were on? Do you see what I'm saying? No. All right, so fair enough. So if that's the case, whether pants on or pants off, the idea here is to increase the time that he'll sit. And what would be worth the ask for the timer to go off, and once it goes off, he gets access to this thing. Now, I don't want to go right to the iPad because I want to use that for potty training, because I suspect the iPad's like a 10, right?
Yeah.
She's like, don't tell me what you told that other mom. I'm terrified. No, it'll be fine. Okay. So before we even go there, the idea here, but I would start preparing myself because that's where we're headed to potty train him. We want to get him sitting long enough to actually eliminate. So what else? Does he like snacks? Does he like?
He loves snacks. Pepperoni. Okay. So He used to love chicken nuggets, and then he's like a seasonal eater. So I shouldn't even say seasonal eater, but he likes something and then he just doesn't like it. And then he'll revisit it again and then he just doesn't like it. So now he's back to liking cereal, like cornflakes again. So Frosted Flakes. So he'll eat that now. Whereas like he didn't care for it a month ago, and he was eating waffles and toaster strudels. Now he doesn't care anything for the waffles and the strawberries and the toaster strudel. So he goes through the cycle where you can try him again with different foods, but it's just at a certain time he only wants to eat specific things, and then it's like, up, I'm out of that phase.
Okay, great. So what does he consistently like, even if it's junk food?
So he always likes Oreo cookies. He
Oh,
always
boy,
eats.
after my own heart. And Juliana's too. That's her favorite cookie. So, all right. So what if you said to him, if you sit for 5 seconds or whatever till the timer goes off, I'll give you an Oreo. Would you do it?
So what he would do the whole entire time is Oreo cookie, please, mommy. Oreo cookie. Oreo cookie, please, mom.
Yeah,
The
he's
whole
gonna
entire time.
yeah, because he's gonna want it, and that's fine. You say, yeah. First, you sit until the timer goes off. You're gonna get really visual with it because our kids are visual learners. First, you sit, and then you get the Oreo. And you have to give him a big Oreo. You can give him one of the mini Oreos out of an Oreo canister, whatever. You know what I mean? He's just going to be delighted to get an Oreo. He's going to say Oreo, Oreo, Oreo. And the reason he's saying that is because if I say that enough, how they say like a kid, you can walk around the store, you hear his kids say, Mom, you can have this, can have this, can have this. They ask their mom like 50 times to get it, to eventually get it. 50 times.
Right.
So he's going to do the same shit. He's going to keep trying the stuff that usually works. And now you're going to say, no, first this, you sit with the timer, and then you get access to the Oreo.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on
that?
Let's play your
I feel like I have to.
Right? All right, you're going to say it. Okay. Guess what, Saint? You're going to sit on this for 10 seconds. When the timer goes off, I'm going to give you an Oreo. Oreo, Oreo, Oreo. Okay, and then what happens?
He'll if he sees me with the Oreo, he'll probably try to get up and reach for the Oreo.
Okay, and you're going to hold him up, yeah. And then what happens?
I'm not sure. If I put my foot down and like stand my ground, maybe he will definitely do it. I think with his dad, for sure he would do it. But
that's interesting. Why?
So yeah, because I guess he knows like I'm the easier parent, so he can get away with a lot of things with me than he can with dad. So I think he'll listen to dad more than he'll listen to me.
All right, I don't care who he does it with. It would be great if he does it with both of you. The idea is let's get him some reps for sitting on it longer. But you want to get this. You don't want dad to have all of the fun with this. He's going to push you harder because he knows that you're mommy and you love on him and you cave. He doesn't pull that shit with dad because he knows when dad says it, he means it. Right. When a mom says it, she also has to mean it. And this doesn't mean that you can't have this lovey, cuddly, smush on you relationship. There's the two types of parents, I always say. There's the moms who discipline in love and the moms who indulge in love. And and both moms love their child equally. But which mom is always going to be able to up-level their baby?
Right.
The one who has the respect who respects his mother as the authority. And she gets to love on him and mush on him and whatever. I want to change the identity that you see in yourself as like, if he's going to do it for his dad, he's going to have to do it for me too.
Right.
And then it's not like we're asking him to do something harsh. We're just asking him to sit. And he is going to try to do the things that he used to do best. Grab it from you, say it, stand on his head, whatever. But eventually, if he really wants it, he's going to have to sit. And the idea with any reward, especially even in this instance where she feels like he's going to give her a lot of resistance, Oreos are no longer presented at any other time.
Okay.
We do that because now it increases desire. And if he really wants it, the only way he's going to get another Oreo in this little pie hole is he has to sit on the toilet for 5 seconds. What a nightmare. You're a horrible mother. 10 seconds. I mean, I don't even know. You sleep at night. 30 seconds? Are you out of your crazy mind? 3 to 5 minutes for one mini Oreo? We'll do it. We'll do anything for it.
All right. Thank you.
Do you think that that's possible, or what are your thoughts?
I do think it's possible. I do think it's possible. Anything like Saint, he really adapts well as long as you're consistent. Yeah. So that's one thing I can say. Like a few weeks ago, I had broken a habit of and had him sleeping in my bed because he wasn't feeling well. And then we kept doing it. And then he didn't want to transition back to his room. So one night I just said enough is enough and put him back in his bed. And of course it was hell the first few nights, but then it was just like with repetition. Now he's just like, he doesn't even like think about my room anymore. So one thing I can say with being consistent.
Why not think that way about doing this? Or even getting potty training done to begin with?
It's I feel like it's honestly on me. I will definitely take accountability for it because I think I kind of like thought like I think what the other mom was saying that like the school and daycare and stuff would do it for me because they asked me like, can we potty train him? Can we help with potty training him? And I'm like, sure. And then I bring the underwear. Right.
You better do that than me. I agree. I think they always do that. Like they say it, but I don't know if they actually want to see it through. I think they want to do it for a unicorn kid. You know what? So do I. Okay. I want a unicorn too. But what I'm saying here is that it's interesting because if we put ourselves, when you started the conversation with me, and this is why thought work is 95%, not even 10, 50, 95% of the game is here. And you're acknowledging that now. We started, you're like, he's stuck. He's fixated. And I get up, I wash my hands. I get up, wash my hands. I got to start to believe that it's possible to break that. And how you do that is you give yourself the examples of how he's done it in other ways. He just did that with bedtime training, right? Because that was like, I got to put my foot down. You know what I mean? So it's just the same thing. I'm going to put my foot gently down. And he's not going to be punished here. He's going to get rewarded for doing it right. And we just got to teach him, just like he's consistent. He said that's one thing about him. Once we teach him something, he'll get right into the routine with it.
Right.
Potty training will be no different. So the first thing you're going to do is just do this, get the momentum going with this, and then we can actually start potty training and use the iPad as the reward. He will be potty trained as well within a weekend, no doubt in my mind. If he loves it as much as I think he does. He loves the iPad.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah. He's just like, why do you want to talk about this right now? Yes. We're not taking it away. He can have it anytime he wants. All he's got to do is pee on or poop on a potty.
Well, I don't give him the iPad during the week. So he only gets it on the weekends. So he does look forward to having it on the weekends. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm excited.
All right. Thank you so much.
Keep me posted. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
All right, everybody, that's a wrap. I'm out of steam here. I feel like I'm sweating too. All right, well, I hope this was helpful for everybody. It was so great to have everybody. I know I was the sub tonight, and I hope I delivered for you. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. This was so much fun. We're going to get you let's do Wheel of Names before everybody leaves. Wheel of Names, Jen. Did we do Wheel of Names for the winner? We're going to do two. We're going to do two winners tonight. One private session with me and one private session with Armando. But listen, if you join the masterclass tonight, you get 5 months in the program instead of 3. You get 2 privates with me and 2 privates with Armando or one of our other BCBAs. Join us. The bonuses expire at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Our first winner, and welcome to all of our new families. I believe somebody just said they signed their daughter up. Welcome. So happy to have you. Jennifer signed up today. Jolie, Sarita, Jennifer. We're happy to have you. Yay. All right, let's see what we got here. Who's our first one? I love Wheel of Names. Who's our first one? This is taking forever. Why ain't it stopping? Stop that wheel, Jen. Our first winner is Pooja. Oh, you wanted to talk to me, Pooja. Now you got it. Woo, Pooja. Send an email to Michelle at michellbrogers.com and we will get you your free session. All right, let's see who else is here. Who's our other winner of our private session? Michelle at michellbrogers.com. Let's see, our last winner is TKO. I don't know who you are, TKO, but you'll just email Michelle at michellbrogers.com. This is it for tonight. I hope this was helpful for everybody. Kisses. So much fun. Join my program. You're here till midnight to get those bonuses. Bye, everybody.